Sean Sewell with the Engearment.com podcast, coming at you live from Jones Pass, Sean's run in particular. It's been a while, several months since I've been up here. It's been a long time since we've done a live podcast from Jones Pass, so really excited to be up here and share this with you. If you're listening to the podcast, I'll do my best to describe all the visuals that we're showing in the video version of this podcast, vlogcast, what have you. In the background, you will see some snow-capped mountains and the sun doing its sun rays right there. The sun will probably set about an hour and a half, and we're up here doing some camping and testing out really cool gear. I'll get to that in 1 second. And there's a lot to cover in this video podcast. Where to even begin? Of course, I'll try and recap the last month of reviews from the riders and myself, tell you what we have upcoming. We have a lot upcoming. Just a lot to be excited about. But I'll just start at the beginning. So it's been a long time since I've been up here. It's been a long time since I've been able to be active, meaning I have not really been able to, I've not at all been able to split board, hike, bike, use weights, walk for 2 months. 4 months ago, I broke my foot. And prior to that, I've been dealing with arthritis for the last 15 plus years. And the arthritis has been so bad that for the last 10 years, I've got 6 opinions on this from 6 different doctors. They've all recommended I do surgery to handle the arthritis. The arthritis is that of a hard-living 85-year-old, and I'm only 44. More on that in a second. Also found out I have gout. So I've got 3 things physically going against me. And then I broke my foot, and that was just icing on the cake. It just really took me out of the picture. And then I re-broke my foot a month later because I just don't do well standing still. So that sucked. So it's been 4 months since I've been able to do anything. I had surgery a month ago. Surgery was a success. Thank you for everybody who reached out and offered support. It meant a lot. A lot of people really shared some really good insights on their having the same surgery. It's called the chilectomy. With the chilectomy, they go in, and it's to combat what's called hallux rigidus, which is a form of arthritis, which is where it's a rigid big toe, basically. The big toe doesn't move. So picture this. Every morning for the last 15 years, just to put on a pair of shoes, I'd re-break my toes just to get into the shoe. That is rather painful. And I just kind of thought that's how life is for everybody. Turns out it's not. That's not normal, and you shouldn't have to deal with that. So I elected to have the surgery. The surgery was a success. However, during the surgery, they came across some, I don't want to say complications, but some elevated issues. Usually they take out a little chunk, like bone spurs, and maybe some floating pieces of bone that have developed over the years. They took out what the surgeon says the biggest mass they've ever taken out of a toe on my surgery. So it had some complications there. It was 1 inch wide. So think about your big toe, 1 inch wide by half an inch deep of tissue they took out. A whole lot more than they went in to go take out. And in the process, they saw this crystallization, which is the uric acid solidifying, which is symbolic of gout. So gout, if you don't know, no, it is not necessarily from diet. I don't eat a ton of red meat, and I'm not, abusing myself too much. It is basically a lot of times genetic, and it's high uric acid levels, which makes sense. My uric acid levels can be around 7, which is higher than normal, and they can probably be higher than that when between tests, and they can result in 2 things. Oftentimes they'll deposit in the kidneys, forming kidney stones, which this time 2 years ago I had kidney stones and they were rather painful. And they can also deposit in the toes. They're called tophies, which is this tissue that develops, and it is very painful. If you ever had a gout attack, it's like the most painful thing ever. And I've had kidney stones. It's more painful than kidney stones. When the gout attack happens, nothing. You can't touch it with a Kleenex, with a bed sheet. Forget about it. It's debilitating. So imagine that with the arthritis, which doesn't allow the toe to move, on top of a broken foot. So yeah, I was pretty bummed, pretty humbled, pretty much in a lot of pain. So here it is 4 months later, and I can walk. And I am walking on my own 2 feet. I'm not in a cast. I'm not in bandages. And physical therapy is going great, doing that twice a week. I really enjoy the physical therapy. I mean, who says that? Who enjoys physical therapy? I enjoy it. I like learning new techniques and rehabilitation, and also I like teaching. So at the end of every session, I share with them some of my knowledge on, they're like, here, we're going to do a kettlebell swing. And they show me their version of the kettlebell swing. And I'm like, all right, that's cute. I see why you want to do that. But let me show you, after I do what you recommend, let me show you another way to do the kettlebell swing. Let me do it. And they're like, oh my God, that's way more secure and strong. And I'm like, yeah. And then we're doing things like planks, which is great. And I'm like, let's do a hollow hold. And they're like, what's a hollow hold? I'm like, hold my coffee, watch this. And I teach them a hollow hold. Whew, it's windy up here. I've shot this like 9 times. So I'm hoping the 9th time is the one to keep. My arms are rather tired holding this camera out like this. But so anyways, PT is a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it. It should be cleared in about 2 weeks, and I can actually get back into water after the incision is healed. So that is why I'm so excited to be up here and share these views with you and to actually do activity. All right, to the activity. One of the first things I can do, I just got cleared yesterday, is ride a bike. And so I have the culmination of 5 years of hard work right here. Been trying to work with QuietKat for about 5 years, and now we are. So right here is the QuietKat Ibex. It's their top of the line, full suspension, fat bike, e-bike. That's right, a full suspension, fat bike, e-bike. This thing is the most amount of fun I've ever had on a bicycle. That is saying a lot. So I've got my review on it. They'll be up here this week. My colleague and good friend, one of my best friends, Mike Opland, had it for the last month. And he is a rocket scientist by trade, aeronautical engineer, and prior to that he was a bike mechanic. He's a very avid mountain biker, so he's got his video review as well as some point of view footage. It's really awesome. He hit 52 miles per hour on that bike. He's hauling ass. I'm afraid to go above 20. So we have 2 different points of view. They're both raving reviews on the bike, but it's just nice to have 2 opinions on a very expensive item like that. Oh, where to start with other reviews? Working with EXPED, working with, oh my God, Mystery Ranch. We have some videos, reviews that get to go live July 1st because they're under embargo, but I did them half a year ago. But we're working with them on 2024 stuff as well. We have so much content up, and it's been fun. Since I have not been able to be as active, I've not been able to do as many reviews, been pretty down. The team has stepped up. There's amazing amount of reviews from a lot of riders. Wow, it is windy. It's so windy. They just pushed this 80-pound bike around. That is crazy. All right, so in my absence, the riders have stepped up in a huge way. If you've seen the Engearment.com website or the Engearment YouTube channel, you've probably seen them. Ryan Humphreys, one of my best friends, is cranking it out of the park with just awesome content. And our rock star Devin Michael, just so many good reviews from her. And our colleague Dan Jimenez out in Hawaii, just such a fun guy. Just wonderful reviews from him too. Andrew Piotrowski out on the East Coast, just creating amazing content, especially around the water activities like canoeing and kayaking and ultra running. And Drew Thayer and Kay Agathan, Will Rickards and Michael Clemente, just super awesome. They've organized the Instagram. I don't do much on Instagram, but they're doing a great job getting content up and resharing on Instagram. I know it's another platform people use. Just the team has stepped up in just an amazing way. It's been great to see. Jay Irwin's out doing his thing. He had to cut his trip short, unfortunately, because some illness. But his crew is still proceeding, and he's assisting with that, so you can keep up with him and all that they're doing. And then up north, our good friend Derek Toshner is headed up way up north, and he's doing Denali right now. So he'll be reviewing on a bunch of stuff from Thermarest and MSR and outdoor research. So stay tuned for that. It'll be fantastic. And just a ton more content coming up. I'm back on the scene now. I'm getting the test stuff out the last few weeks and more content. Allbirds, we have a ton of cool stuff coming with Allbirds, which is just such a fun story. I'm actually listening to the show, the podcast, How I Built This with, I forget his name, Guy. He's the best podcaster out there, but he's interviewing Allbirds, talking about how they got started and all of the creation story. It's been fun to learn all about that. And then here up in July is me huge. We have the OMA event, which is going to be, I can't even tell you, it's so many meetings we have coming up every 15 minutes for 2 days straight, and we have 6 of us going, so that's going to be, I don't know, 60 meetings to look forward to, and most of those will have interviews up on YouTube, so you can check that out. Top of my head, we have meetings with EXPED love EXPED. Arcteryx, come on, Deadbird's fantastic. Gregory, Thermarest, MSR, Outdoor Research, Gore-Tex, Pneumatics, Adventure Wagon, which we'll be testing out the Adventure Wagon again this summer, Wyoming Whiskey, Smart Wool, Ortholite, Loa, Chacos. My God, that's just like my meetings on day one. There's a whole spreadsheet I'll share with you later of meetings we have upcoming with the rest of the crew. Just amazing stuff. There's so much to cover. So much to cover. I'm trying to keep this under 15 minutes. So we have a lot more content coming up. And from the bottom of my heart, I just want to thank everybody for the support, for reaching out the last few months, checking in, seeing how I'm doing, offering insights on their recovery from the surgery I've went through. And again, it's been really awesome seeing the Engearment teammates just step up and just crank out awesome content. And in the fitness world, I mentioned in the last podcast, we have several Strong First events coming up. The soonest one is next month in July, middle of July, at our gym, Existence Athletics. It's a foundations course. It's first part of the day will be Strong First fundamentals, and then it'll be the basics of barbell, and then the next day will be body weight. And so if you are in the Denver area or want an excuse to come to the Denver area, I'd recommend checking out those courses. And then the next month, my good friend Michael Doc Hartle will be hosting the Strong First Lifter, the SFL, the barbell certification at our gym. That's a 3-day certification in August. And then Derek Toshner, the one and the same Derek Toshner is doing Denali right now, will be hosting his Strong First seminar at our gym, which is basically like strong endurance with conditioning and programming, his adventure course. And then the following month in October, I'm driving down to Phoenix, Arizona to work with Pavel and Brett Jones for the Teachers of Strength, which is only for people in Strong First leadership, going through best programming techniques, recertifications. And then the next day will be programming improv with Hector, Pavel, and Fabio. So I will be doing the camera and audio and the international Zoom for them. Just looking forward to that. It's always a pleasure to work with Fabio and Pavel and Brett. Oh, I just love Brett. He's such a great guy. Such a great instructor and coach. And he's just a good friend. I'm excited to say that. I get to say Brett Jones is a friend, and Pavel's a friend, and Fabio and Karen Smith and all Doc Hartle, the leaders at Strong First. Oh, I could go on a long tangent about that, about how amazing it is to get to not only meet them and learn from them, and then from their teachings apply it to my students to help their quality of life, but also then to get to work with them and to hang out with them and just text with them and send holiday cards and just be friends. It's really, really cool. And to speak to the teachings we get to learn from Strong First and applying it, one of my clients, students today, sent me a picture from the top of a 14er, Mount Bierstadt. Charlie, who's deaf, and I love working with him because it teaches me new ways to teach without really talking as much. Monkey see, monkey do. It's a very effective technique. Now he moved here from Virginia, and now he's snowboarding and climbing mountains. So it's really cool to see that success. And other clients this week, I taught them one-arm swings, and like I mentioned, I get to work with a physical therapist and teach them how to apply these principles too. It's cool. It's fun to learn, and it's fun to teach, which is the basis of what we're doing here at Engearment. We get to learn how the stuff works, we get to go test the stuff, and then we get to tell you all about it, what we like about it, and who it might be for, and then, share some stoke. So there it is. I got it all in under 15 minutes. Yeah. So hopefully you can feel the excitement I have to be able to walk comfortably and talk and get to go bike and then hike and recreate. It makes you appreciate when you can't do stuff to be able to do it again. For sure. And if anybody's going through this kind of broken foot, arthritis, gout, and want to talk about it, I'm happy to be a support for you. So, as always, I appreciate your time you invested in listening or watching this. I appreciate the support you show myself and the Engearment teammates. I appreciate the positive comments. I appreciate the support over the last 8-9 years as we build this media company up. And yeah, much love to all of you guys. Till next time, take care.